I did this for people who often doubted me, and all the backstabbers who betrayed me.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy Supreme Rankilu, and I'm back again with another video. So today we're gonna be analyzing one of my favorite Areece songs, which is "In His Image," and I really chose this song because I feel like it's really underrated the way that it's being listened to. So I'm gonna decide to break it down and just see what I can find in it. So we're gonna be starting from the name of the song. So whenever you look at the name of the name is In His Image. So drawing from conclusions and my own perspective, I really think that this name is found in a Bible verse, which is shocking. I feel like with this song he's trying to refer to himself as a rap god. So if you go to what is it, Genesis 1 verse 27, there's actually a verse that says, so God created human beings in his own image. So basically, depending on the translation of the verse, some of the translations says that so God created man in his image, so in his own image. So I really think that's a good starting point from where the song actually is, like it's related to. So already there's a Christian based reference, and then there's a divine figure which is God, and it's like in his image. So basically probably referring to himself as the rap god. But let's just listen and we'll see what we come up with.
I wonder what she's saying.
Inexplicable aura, fire in the water. Anti-sober, medicinal herb smoker. Skin well coated in Sauvage Dior odor. Jotting encrypted messages, every bar is coded.
Yeah, so let's just start from there, and I feel like I have to stop it a lot because there's a lot of cover on this one. So basically it starts saying by inexplicable aura and fire in the water. So already on the first line you can see the reference where I was referring to a divine figure. So basically, if you look at the word of inexplicable, it says that it is being unable to explain something or something that is not accounted for. And whenever you look at the definition for aura, it's like a distinctive atmosphere that is created by a person. So it's like, I can't explain it, but a person has an aura. So inexplicable aura, fire in the water. So it might refer to God's presence or a divine presence, and he's referring to himself. So he's actually labeling himself on a higher plane already on the first line of the song. So you can feel it. And the word fire in the water, it just generally means in for me in simple terms, it's like something that's impossible. Fire can never burn inside the water. It will mix, evaporate, and turn into steam the minute it does. So I feel like it's trying to elaborate on inexplicable aura, something that cannot be accounted for or explained. And then it's like fire in the water, right? He has a presence that cannot be accounted for or explained. It's too powerful. And he's like anti-sober, medicinal help smoker, which is, I think he's just opening up here about him smoking some weed and stuff. So very honest. So skin well coated in Sauvage Dior odor. So that is pretty a simple line, right? Nice perfumes. I'm really like I'm shocked with the use of odor, because basically the word odor is usually used to refer to smells that are not good. So whenever he used odor in something that is what his skin is coated with, you think that it's gonna be something bad, but since he's referring to himself, it's something good. But I'm just saying the word odor is usually referred to a bad smell. So, or you can say that an odor is something that has lingering qualities. So I don't know. And then the next line goes to jotting encrypted messages, every bar is coded. So this one is really nice. To jot is to take a quick brief and then uh, 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 um, to take something quickly, to breathe down. So it's just like writing. And the exciting part here is how he used it. Jotting encrypted messages, every bar is coded. So if you look at the definition of encryption, it is the processes of converting information or data into a code if you want to protect it. So really he's just like saying jotting encrypted messages, every bar is coded. So that's where the coded comes in, right? And then it's like every bar is coded, the wave is downloaded. So he was just referring to himself of saying jotting encrypted messages, every bar is coded. Maybe he wants to protect his bars, but that's a punchline. You see, encryption and coded. And then it's like every bar is coded to quote. People are coding his lines. It's like byte stealing. And then is the wave is downloaded. People are actually riding on his wave, or people are downloading his wave, his style. But if you refer to what is a wave, you refer to what is this, a WAV file. Like the wave is downloaded, he's referring to his wave, and also a wave file that you export out of a music software. So the wave is downloaded, and he's like, they are copies of what the goat is. I call it animal cloning. They are copies of what the goat is. A goat is an animal, and then the word stands for greatest rapper I love. I call that animal cloning. Basically, it's like they're copying me because I'm the GOAT. Does he refer to himself as being the GOAT, the greatest rapper alive? I mean, that's a debate. I don't know, right? So, yo, I can't discuss if he's the GOAT or not, but yeah, let's continue with the trade.
Every bar is quoted, the wave is downloaded. They copies of what the gold is. I call that animal cloning. Remember every encounter in chronological order. These are not the same niggas we thought were singing the chorus. Fuck the cover, I judge a book by its author. Read it.
So let me just stop there because I feel like I don't want to go too fast because I want to be explaining this song pretty well. So yeah. So it comes in and goes in again for I actually went too fast on the other one. So the copies of what the goat is, I call this animal cloning. It's like I remember every encounter in chronological order. Remember every encounter in chronological order. These are not the same niggas we thought were singing the chorus, right? So this is a continued bar of the niggas that when he's like they're copies of what the goat is, I call it animal cloning. Every bar is coded, the wave is downloaded. I think he's calling out ghostwriters too, and uh the people copying his style as the goat, right? And he's like, I remember every encounter in chronological order. I remember the events like they happened exactly, right, in the order which they occurred in real life. So, and he's like, these are not the same niggas we thought were singing the chorus, right? That ghostwriter thing, right? And he's like, fuck the cover. I judge a book by its author. Read it. I don't agree with that statement, but I get what he's saying. And he's like, disapprove. On the side, we don't get that credit. Let me go back to the song and see what we have.
Disapproved on the side, we don't counter in chronological order. These are not the same niggas we thought were singing the chorus. Fuck the cover, I judge a book by its author. Read it. Disapproved on the side, we don't give that credit. Raw and uncut, no edits. When I speak, it isn't hypothetic, although I make it sound poetic.
So I'm gonna stop there because oh my god, there's so much to cover on this song. I feel like he's spitting some gems. I even skipped some alliterations that he did, so I'm just gonna look out for those. He's like, these are not the same niggas we thought were singing the chorus. Fuck the book, fuck the cover. I judged the book by its author. I read it, and he's like disapproved on the side. We don't get that credit. So credit is to like acknowledge that somebody did something, but they are disapproved, right? They don't get the credit for what they done, right? So I was like, I disagree with the fuck the cover judged by its a book by its author. Read it, he read it, and then he's disapproved. So books usually have credits on the end. So I feel like that's a mixture of a writing scheme there. So he's like raw and uncut, no edits. Obviously, you know that when I speak, it isn't hypothetical. So when you look at the thing is like when I speak, it isn't hypothetical. Areece is probably known for saying events in his music. So he usually doesn't do interviews, according to my perspective. And what he's saying is that everything he speaks on the track is true, because as when I speak, it isn't hypothetic. Hypothetic meaning it's not a hypothesis. It's probably a real thing that happened. It's like a statement that really happened. Well, while hypothesis is a statement that didn't happen, it's a hypothesis. It's like an idea or theory. So he's like, when I speak, it isn't hypothetic. Like, this is like some real shit, right? So let me just continue here.
Rare genetics, the chosen one pathetic. Although I make it sound poetic, rare genetics, the chosen one descended from the heavens. Return of the legend, he could land any second.
So we just finished the verse there. I could have done better, but anyway. So he's like, when I speak, it isn't poetic, it isn't hypothetic, although I make it sound poetic. Obviously, you can hear for this song, it sounds kind of poetic. And he's like, rare genetics, which the chosen one descended from the heavens. The return of the legend, he could land any second. So I think with this scheme, it doesn't mean anything for like slick lines or anything. But whenever you look at the context from the first time I said the what you call the title of the song is in his image. So the next one to God, what I mean, he's like, I'm the rap God in a way. So basically, whenever you look at this last one, he's like rare genetics. He has rare genetics of rapping. The chosen one descended from the heavens, which can be referred to like Jesus in this case. So it has a very biblical reference. He's like return of the legend. He could land any second. I think when he says return of the legend, that might be actually a movie or something. I'm not sure, but when it says return and then the chosen one descended from the heavens, might be referring to Jesus, and return of the legend might be the second coming of Jesus, and then he could land any second. But I feel like it has a deeper meaning. Let me just Google it real quick. If there isn't anything that refers to return of the legend, because I feel like it's something. So I can't find anything on Return of the Legend. I can find Bruce Lee, and then Abraham, the warrior king of the 11th Empire. I kind of get the picture here about being a king and all that, but I was just reaching, so let's go to the second verse.
Yeah, remain unshaken. I reject your hand gesture. Every line is clear cut when I apply the pen pressure. Dissect them, I'm Lecter, manhunter, red dragon. Only difference is this isn't a novel by Tom Harris. I call this God's planning. I call this pure passion. Came a long way from famine, skipping school, taking chances. Paint pictures with words, no brush and palette. In Ye's words, I'm coming after whoever who has it.
So let's stop it there and just break down the whole second verse, analyze it. So it's like remain unshaken. I reject your hand gesture, which is a simple punchline. You can say, I'm unshaken by anything. I remain unshaken. I'm not scared of anything. I reject your hand gesture. So I don't want to shake your hands. That's why I remain unshaken. And it's like every line is clear cut when I apply the pen pressure. So this line, I was dangling on it for a while. So every line is clear cut. So basically what clear cut means is like it's sharply defined, easy to perceive or to understand. Like I don't take corners when I speak, right? Every line is straightforward. It's clear cut, right? And it's like when I apply the pen pressure, so pen pressure on the page, it can be meaning that when he applies the pen pressure on the page, it makes clear cut lines. But that's kind of dumb. So I'm gonna take it to speculation. I don't know what he meant, but I think he's talking about diamonds. So the reason why I'm saying that in terms of rap is that from my perspective, it might mean that if you know diamonds are clear cut, right? There's clear cut diamonds, and there's actually a company called Clear Cut which makes diamonds, which is very ironic. It's a very popular rich company. When I apply the pen pressure, so the reason when he says when I apply the pen pressure is because diamonds are made using some sort of pressure. So if you search how diamonds are made, they apply high temperature and pressure. So that kind of makes sense, which is If it does, if I'm reaching for it, it's kind of a fireball, but I don't think anybody would get it on the fence hands. And he's like, on the next line, he's like, dissect them. I'm like the Manhunter, Red Dragon. The only difference, this is in a novel by Tom Harris, which I think is the dopest line this song probably has. And I'm going to explain it very deep. So if you look at, he's like, dissect them like I'm the Manhunter, Red Dragon. So Manhunter is actually a movie that came out in 1986, which was derived from the novel Red Dragon, written by Tom Harris. So he's like, the only difference, this isn't written by Tom Harris. So I think the main character, the reasons he says dissect them, he's like, with his lines, he dissects them, dissects other rappers, and he really dissects them for real, because in the movie, there was this guy who's eating human flesh. I forgot his name in the movie because I didn't watch it. Dr. Hannibal, I think. He was like dissecting people, eating them, I think. So this bar is like, every line is clear cut when I apply the pen pressure. Dissect them like I'm the Manhunter, Red Dragon, which is the books. The only difference, this is in the novel by Tom Harris. So he's taking all this scheme and putting it into a rapping scheme, which is pure genius. I really think it took him a long time to write this one. And then he continues by saying, I call this God's planning. I call this pure passion, which if you look at this line, it's a form of alliteration, because planning, pure, and passion in one line. I call this God planning. I call this pure passion, PP, and alliteration. And whenever I look at it, Areece likes Drake, so I feel like him saying God's planning maybe might refer to the song God's Plan by Drake, but it's like, I call this pure passion. I came a long way from famine, skipping school, taking chances. So it's like the passion for rap overcame the lack of food, skipping school, and taking the chances. So let's move on from there. So he's like, after the scheme of skipping school, taking chances, he's like, paint pictures with words, no brush and a palette. So for me, what I take away from this line is that if you can paint a picture with words, it means you're a good storyteller. So he declares himself as a good storytelling rapper. And he's like, in Ye's words, I'm coming after whoever has it, which is something I really had to find because I was confused. So Ye is Kanye West, and I'm coming after whoever has it. It's actually a line that Kanye West once said on a track, right? So I'm gonna go and then explain it. I think came out in 2010. Yeah, it's 2010 on the album My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, where Kanye West is declaring himself as the best rapper and producer at the time. So Areece might be declaring that he is the best rapper at the specific time. So as I explained him from the title and the references of the biblical or divine entity, which is God, referring to himself as the rap god on this track. So Kanye West, I'm gonna quote Kanye West's song. Yeah, it's like, act like I ain't had a belt in 2 classes. I ain't got it. I'm coming after whoever has it. That's Kanye West's line on the song. What is the song? I forgot the song. But yeah, you get it. So that's what it means. So let's move on to the third verse.
I wonder what she's saying.
Yeah. Attitude formidable, ferocious with the syllables. The last of a dying breed, more like the originals. I'm eating on for interludes. Summertime and winter too. In the night and afternoon. Shit a little different when that money chasing after you. Shit a little different when that love is unconditional. I'm who the children listen to. My life is like a parable. Every chapter pivotal, living proof of a miracle.
So the song is done. So yeah, the song is done. I don't know why he ended it like that. Like the way he ended it sounded like there's something coming after. I think it's done. Let me just check. Yeah, it's done. So let's just start with the first line. It's like, yeah, the attitude formidable, ferocious with the syllables, which is just, there's nothing to say there. You probably understand what he means. If I want to touch on words, it's like The attitude is powerful, inspiring fear in people, ferocious with the syllables. And what I'm interested here is the next line where he's like, the last of a dying breed, more like the originals. This bar is kind of hard if I think he's talking about what he's talking about. So basically, if you know, the originals is a series, spin-off series from Vampire Diaries, which I happen to like because I've watched all of it, and I'm rewatching it again. So I kind of caught the line when it comes. So it's like the last of a dying breed, more like the original. So I'm gonna explain it. If you've watched Vampire Diaries, you would know. So the originals in the series are the first vampires to ever exist, to be created, right? And on the originals, I think they all die, and the only one that gets left is the son. I mean, is the daughter of the main protagonist, which is, she's not an original, but she's derived from there. So it's like the last of a dying breed. So the originals cannot be recreated because they are the first vampires, and every vampire in the movie is actually comes from their line. So they created every other vampire in the world. So it's like the last of a dying breed more like the originals. The originals are powerful and they're superior in the series, and they are the only ones of their kind. And throughout the series, they died out, I think, before another spin-off series made of them. So when he's like, attitude formidable, ferocious with the syllables, the last of a dying breed, more like the originals, again, he's stating his how superior he is to other rappers in the rap game. And he's like, he's the last of a dying breed of a specific type of rappers who can rap, especially in today's world. So it's like I'm eating off interludes, summertime and winter too, in the night and afternoon. I think I don't understand what he meaning of eating of interludes. It might be something deeper, but as you know, interludes are just songs that break off a cycle. Like in an album, an interlude would be a song that gives us a break where they just rap or anything. And what I notice about Areece is that he likes doing interludes. So maybe eating off interludes, maybe I'm eating off tracks that are interludes. Summertime and winter too, in the night and the afternoon. That might actually refer to his work ethic, which he means he just kills it all year, right? And then his work ethic, because he once said on what is this track? Couldn't have said it better that some people are hot in seasons. He does it from January to December, so that what is what it means. And he's like shade a little different when the money chasing after you, shade a little different when the love is unconditional. So this is something poetic. Nothing means he repeated the shade a little different when that, and then he did it on the next line too, right? We get that. And what strikes me here is I'm who the children listen to. My life is like a parable. Every chapter pivotal, living proof of a miracle. Now I want to break that down because I kind of did a little research on this one, because as I've said, I started this song by quoting a Bible verse, and I think I'm reaching for this one. I don't think he means that, but I feel like rap is a very entertaining sport, and I can reach as much as I want. I think the universe works in incredible ways. So when he's like, "I'm who the children listen to," already I've declared that he already puts himself as the rap god from just the name, right? And if you look at the cover art for this song, it's Neo from the Matrix, which means he is the one, right? Uh, Claiming he's superior to, right? He's like, I'm who the children listen to. My life is like a parable. So I went up and searched up Bible verses about children. So I came to this verse and says, it's Psalms 34, verse 11, that says, "Come, my children, listen to me. I will teach you to fear the Lord." Right? I will teach you the fear of the Lord. So struck me says that, "Come, my children, listen to me," right? As the God, as the God, right? And Aries is like, I'm who the children listen to, right? And then what's more inspiring is that after he said that, he's like, I'm who the children listen to. And after that, he's like, my life is like a parable, which also brings me back to a biblical source, which is what is a parable, right? It's like the way I understand it, the way I googled it, a parable is a simple story used to illustrate a moral lesson or a spiritual lesson. So that's a parable, and this is what Jesus taught with in the Bible. Jesus taught with parables, right? Which takes us back to a divine entity in the Bible. And it's like every chapter pivotal. A chapter is a phase in your life. So basically, pivotal means something that is in pivot, right? It means that it's a crucial importance. Um, I don't know how to explain it. Sorry for that, but it's something of importance in the development stages that leads to success. So when it's like every chapter is pivotal, right? Everything he does is important to his own success. I'm who the children listen to. My life is like a parable, the lesson thing, and every chapter pivotal, and then living proof of a miracle. Again, when you go back, what's a miracle? And it takes you back to biblical origin or something like that. What is a miracle, right? I never googled that, but as you can tell, living proof of a miracle might give us a sense of the existence of Jesus also, right? And when I refer to Jesus in this case, I'm referring to him as a divine entity in the Bible, as the Son of God and as God Himself. So it's more like a miracle is something extraordinary that cannot be explained. It can be linked to the first word He said on the song, inexplicable aura. Miracle is something that cannot be explained in terms of the rules and sciences of the world. You understand? It cannot be defined by scientific laws. So this last line takes me back to actually his first line when it's like inexplicable aura, also referring to his aura being that of divinity, of that superior high quality. So my life is like a parable, how Jesus lived, and he's like, I'm who the children listens to. I quoted that verse. Every chapter is pivotal, right? It's very important to the leading of success because my life is like a parable, and it's like a living proof of a miracle, right? Jesus is living proof of a miracle because the birth of Jesus wasn't conceived by DNA; it was conceived by the Holy Spirit, which is a miracle, unexplained, can be proved scientifically, will never happen in reality terms. And so that Jesus was the living proof of a miracle. He was a miracle himself, being born out of the Holy Spirit. So I feel like Areece is comparing to himself to the highest order, which is God, from the name in his image. And there's a lot of emphasis of how he's referring to himself here. But as I've said, it's in terms of rap. So it's like a rap god, right? And I feel like he proved it with how he did this song. This song is full of context, punchlines, alliterations, and a lot of things. Yo, sorry for that. I reached my time limit on my camera. So yeah, as I've said, all this song explains is how great he is in terms of God. So we have things like explaining that he is the best, doing it at the time the song was coming out, quoting from Ye's words. Uh, 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 the name, the cover art, referring to him and in terms of a divine being saying. But I said that in terms of rap. Even this has a lot of biblical context, in my opinion. It's my opinion, it's not fact. I look into the lyrics pretty deeply. So he's positioning himself as the best. The reference of him being like the originals, which is the strongest vampires in the series, right? A dying breed of rappers he's referring to, but he's using other contexts, right? My life is like a parable referring to Jesus Christ. I call this God's planning, pure passion. Like he's just taken this song and give it a lot of life into explaining who he is as a person, like who he thinks he is in the rap game as a person. And I feel like this is just saying, I'm the rap god, I'm the most superior one who can rap. They copy from me. And he did claim that he's the GOAT on this track. They're copies of what the GOAT is. I call it animal cloning. So they're copying his GOAT status. So I hope you enjoyed that explanation, and I wish I could have went deeper into it, but because of time and anything. So if you think I missed something or he's saying something deeper than I referred to, please leave the links in the comments and please subscribe and maybe suggest a song I could do next.